So honestly, our work here is so rewarding. The Navy listens to what we say. When we do good analysis, they act on it really quickly. So an example is that I recently completed a study on how to increase the resilience of medical logistics in support of a small naval command. I briefed the results to the commander of that command, an admiral, and while we were sitting there, he started brainstorming with me about how they could implement some of my recommendations, and now they're moving forward with several of the recommendations, and we have a follow-on study specifically looking at one of those recommendations. And so it's really exciting to me, and a little bit, I guess, surprising, to watch the results of our analysis in action and to understand that we're really building something greater than just the analysis.
What I appreciate most about CNA is how much the company cares about its people, both our professional development and our families, honestly, and also how much CNA cares about the people we work for, the military sponsors. So there's never been anything I've wanted to try or do at CNA where I've been told no. I've always been able to kind of pursue my interests, pursue the career path I want to take, and also I've been able to put my family first. I went into the job market a little more open-minded and was able to cast my net pretty widely. And when I prioritize things like very interesting research that had impact, where I would be working in a team environment, where I could put my family first as well outside of work, and also the fact that there were a lot of strong female leaders in the organization, I thought that it would be a place where I could be successful.
So CNA is a great organization if you want to grow, if you want to express yourself and pursue different opportunities. So I came to CNA with a background in labor economics, and you could call me an applied statistician. Since I've been at CNA, I've worked on quote, manpower studies and in personnel, but I've also done work looking at whales, way to save fuel for Navy ships, Navy installations, lots of good economic questions there. Work related to the availability and reliability of parts on ships. I'm currently working on that subject. So if you're an economist and you see yourself broadly as an economist, CNA is a great space for that because of the growth potential that you can have, not just in terms of subject matter, where you get that familiarity with all that is the Navy, but in terms of career development as well. I've gotten to see myself grow as a writer, as someone who can lead a team of people, someone who can engage senior leaders themselves to take some very academic type subject matter, but bring it down to a practical level.
This work, I couldn't have imagined doing this work 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So I think that's been really exciting, rewarding, and a little bit surprising to me. I thought that I would join CNA and I would do the kinds of projects I had been working on in graduate school, which was true, but there have been so many more possibilities that I could not have imagined. CNA hosts a program called the Analyst Development Group with all of the new analysts across the company who have joined in the last 2 years. And I found that so helpful. So I learned about what everyone who was new was doing, whether they were working on manpower and resources, healthcare like me, more operational stuff like weapons, ballistics, submarines. And so it really gave me a great understanding about what we do here at CNA, but also it gave me a great cohort feeling. So those folks that I started with, those are often the people who, when I have a question that's outside of my area of expertise today, those are the folks who I call first.
If I'm thinking about the things that I did know coming in that were kind of surprising, it was how closely that our sponsors' questions they were asking, research questions, mapped with what I had done in grad school. So that was a little bit surprising. A lot of the questions they were asking were things that I had studied before, and so that was a pleasant surprise.
So I have a great boss who is willing to give me a lot of opportunities. One opportunity I had in my first year was to apply my skills in simulation modeling. In particular, yes, this is also true, I was looking at how whales are affected by the use of Navy sonar in the Gulf of Alaska. I produced a simulation model where we estimated the number of whales that receive or hear a certain level of sonar in the Gulf. And I got to present that to a very high-ranking official in the Department of Defense. Some fantastic fun work, a lot of coding for those of you who do MATLAB or R. It was in that language. And trying to bring it to the level of a senior official was fun. So it was a learning experience for me, but I got to continue on that line of work with simulation modeling, again, looking at whales and other projects, simulation modeling for other studies. I got to do some work that was on hybrid electric drives. This is essentially turning a Navy ship, a destroyer, into a Prius by installing an electric motor that can be used at low speeds to save fuel. I got to present that work to 4 3-star admirals, and that was a lot of fun. So there are lots of challenges out there for people that are curious, and that's something you have to have. You come to a place like CNA, you have to be curious.
So one of the most rewarding experiences I had as an analyst was when I got to do a lot of the research related to the combat jobs opening up to women in the Marine Corps. And so a few years ago, women could not serve in the combat arms occupations in the Marine Corps. And Congress asked them to, integrate their combat arms units. And so, but the Marine Corps got an opportunity to do some research and say what the impact of that was going to be, if it was going to affect operational effectiveness. And we did a lot of that frontline research to say what the impact on these units were going to be as these units were further gender combined. And it was just a very rewarding opportunity, a history-making moment in the life of our military services. And just interacting and hearing people's thoughts and opinions and experiences just made me really have a greater appreciation for the people we work with that are in uniform.
I started out as an education policy researcher, so why did I end up doing defense work? I ended up telling people when they asked why I did what I was doing that I wanted to do something that was policy relevant, that really improved people's lives, and that I could talk to people about without seeing their eyes glaze over. And the work that I'm doing now really hits all 3 of those notes. More than anywhere else I can think of, people care what we have to say. We work with sponsors who seek out our opinions. They know that we're going to give them the best possible answer. We're going to give them the unvarnished truth. If they have something they want us to look into and it's not working, they want to hear that. And having people who both want your opinion and are just as interested when it's not what they thought they wanted to hear is a really rare thing. And I wouldn't trade that experience for anything.
So that's one thing I really appreciate about CNA is just how much it prioritizes its people. And also it prioritizes our military sponsors.
I think the strength of CNA is its people. I think CNA is a really collaborative place, and that's encouraged by our highest levels of management. So what that means to me is that we work across divisions, that people are always willing to help out. I've never asked someone for some time or some analysis or some help understanding something and had them say no. CNA also gives us amazing opportunities for experiences that we wouldn't have had in other settings. For example, I do traditional health services research work and data analysis, but I've also gotten to go out on helicopters. I've spent a couple weeks camping in Norway with the Marines, and I've gotten to do focus groups in Okinawa. My colleagues in civilian settings, we do similar work, but they haven't had those super cool experiences.
I know it's a cliche to say our greatest asset is our people, but it's the people. So
what keeps me here is the ability to do work that really matters, that has high impact. I've thought about, what if I were to go somewhere else and do something else at this point in my career? And I always go back to the fact I can't think of anywhere where I would be doing work that is as interesting as the work I do at CNA. We're doing stuff that makes history, things that really matter, that has high impact. People read what we do and they make decisions like that based on our analysis. And so I think that really keeps me here, is just the interesting work that we do.